What's up, Taiwan? I'm Reece with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's Coast Guard is defending its actions after 2 Chinese nationals were killed near the Jinmen Islands. The boat they were in capsized after being chased by the Coast Guard. The incident has triggered an angry response from China. Our reporter Rick Glowett is following developments for us in Taipei. Now, Rick, you're outside the branch of Taiwan's Coast Guard responsible for Jinmen. What are they saying?
As you mentioned, 2 Chinese nationals died in this incident, and in fact there were 4 people on board the speedboat when it capsized. The other 2 are now in hospital in Jinmen, and we understand that they are in a stable condition. Now, Taiwan's Coast Guard says the boat had entered Taiwan's waters illegally and was in fact just 1 nautical mile off the coast of one of Jinmen's islands. They say that's why they had to chase it. But China has condemned Taiwan's Coast Guard. In an angry statement, it said that Taiwan's Coast Guard acted malignantly and has demanded an investigation. Now, Chinese vessels entering Taiwan waters near Jinmen is quite common. The islands are just a few kilometers from China's coast, and over the last few years, Taiwan has expelled roughly 15,000 vessels from this area. But deaths like this are quite rare.
And Rick, just how dangerous are incidents like this? Could this situation escalate?
Well, this comes as tensions continue to rise across the Taiwan Strait. We know that China is not happy with Taiwan's recent presidential elections results, where Taiwan re-elected into office into a historic 3rd term Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party. That's a party that strongly rejects Beijing's claims of sovereignty over Taiwan. We also know that China has been increasingly using what's known as grey zone warfare tactics against Taiwan. That includes sending military boats and planes towards Taiwan, but it also includes sending sand dredgers and fishing vessels into Taiwan's territorial waters in outlying islands like Jinmen. Now, there are worries that Beijing could use an incident like this one, where Chinese nationals have died in Taiwan's waters, as a pretext for military action. But the analysts I spoke to say it's much more likely that Beijing will take a subtle approach and may perhaps do things like sending greater or larger Coast Guard vessels into this area, claiming that it needs to protect its fishing fleet.
That was Rick Glowett in Taipei reporting on an incident with Taiwan's Coast Guard that left 2 Chinese citizens dead. Police are investigating a shooting that injured 4 people in the heart of Taipei. At least 8 shots were fired in the Ximen shopping district in a drunken brawl on Wednesday morning. Authorities say 3 people, including the shooter, have been arrested and 1 person remains at large. Police have not ruled out gang involvement. It comes as Taiwan cracks down on gun violence, amending laws to give harsher sentences for gun crime. A Taiwanese internet personality has been arrested in Cambodia for allegedly faking an assault during a live stream. Chen Chien, known online as Goodnight Chicks, claimed he was beaten and robbed at a casino in Cambodia. In a live stream, Chen appeared in a disheveled state, claiming to be fleeing security. He then went offline, sparking claims he went missing. Cambodian authorities have denied the incident happened and are expected to release more information. The Lunar New Year has brought good fortune for some, with the Taiwan Stock Exchange hitting a new high in its first day of trading in the Year of the Dragon. The exchange's index surged over 600 points to reach a historic high just 1 minute after trading opened on Thursday. Strong performance in the electronics sector contributed to the day's gains, with TSMC's stock up nearly 10%. That's also a new high for the company's market cap, which surpassed $570 billion. The dragon is traditionally the most popular Chinese zodiac sign, one that even influences family planning. Despite the overall declining birth rate in Taiwan, the Year of the Dragon consistently sees a spike in the number of babies born. However, this particular dragon year is expected to be an exception. Yujing Huang has more.
These babies were the first to arrive in 2024, and among the last rabbit babies born under the Chinese zodiac sign of the rabbit. Next up in the cycle is the dragon. This traditionally has meant a spike in the number of babies. The dragon is the most powerful and auspicious of the 12 zodiac signs, and many couples plan to have a baby in a dragon year. But after Taiwan's birth rate hit a new low in 2023, it seems there won't be a rebound in the Year of the Dragon. Based on the number of prenatal checkups in the bottom half of last year, the Dragon Year magic is no longer working. Part of the reason is that people no longer put as much stock in traditional beliefs.
我也觉得生肖只是就是一个文化象征嘛。
可能我没有想要生小孩，对，所以还好，没有什么感觉。
我觉得每个生肖都很好啊，就是每个动物都很可爱。
Since 1976, Taiwan's birth rate has continually dropped, partially because of growing use of birth control in family planning. But fluctuations in the birth rate continue to follow traditional beliefs in Chinese zodiac signs. There are fewer babies born in the year of tiger. This sign is considered unlucky, so tiger people might find themselves not invited to weddings or other celebrations. Births bounce back in the following year of the rabbit, and then climb in the auspicious year of dragon. But this dragon year may be an unusual one for several reasons, one being an effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, when fewer people got married.
Marriage rates have been declining since several years ago, and because marriage and childbearing is still so closely linked in Taiwan and in many East Asian countries, so when there's a continuous decline in marriage counts or marriage rate, usually what we are seeing is that fertility rates will decline together.
To boost the birth rate in Taiwan in the shorter term, an easier way is to encourage married couples that already have one child to have another. But Dr. Jianpei Huang, an obstetrician, says some mothers might not want to have a second child because of imbalanced gender roles, where women don't get the support they need from their partners.
那这个孕期忧郁其实它的发生比例也相当的高，高达20%以上，在国内也是这样。那如果他没有得到一个好的处理的话，这个度过孕期忧郁症的妈咪好像从地狱中好不容易才回来一样，你要她再去生个小孩她是打死都不愿意了。
In previous generations, the Year of the Dragon helped boost the number of babies, even when the overall birth rate declined. It's a stark reflection on conditions in Taiwan that not even the lure of this magical and powerful sign can get people to want to have children. Justin Wu, P.T. Zhuang, and Yujin Huang for TaiwanPlus.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un supervised the test of a new surface-to-air missile and vowed to take a more aggressive stance in disputed waters, the country's state TV reported on Thursday. It comes a day after South Korea's military detected the North firing multiple cruise missiles off its east coast. Kim has overseen a flurry of weapons tests since 2022 and has recently upped his rhetoric against the South, declaring it Pyongyang's #1 enemy. Kim also accused South Korea of violating its territorial waters. Japan's economy has slipped into recession after shrinking in the last quarter of 2023. The 0.4% drop in Japan's GDP growth means the country is now the world's fourth largest economy, behind the US, China, and Germany. The drop has taken Japanese economists by surprise. Many expected GDP to grow at a modest rate in the fourth quarter. The new data could create a challenge for the country's central bank, which hopes to raise interest rates for the first time in nearly 20 years. One person has been killed and at least 21 others injured in a shooting at a Super Bowl celebration in Kansas City in the US. The shooting happened at the end of a parade by the Kansas City Chiefs, with terrified fans running for cover when shots rang out. 8 of those hit by bullets were children. 3 people have been taken into custody. Cyclists in Taiwan have taken to the streets in support of Tibetan resistance against China. The event comes ahead of Tibetan Uprising Day. This year is the 65th anniversary of mass protests in Tibet that resulted in a crackdown by the Chinese army and forced exile of Tibet's spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. Protesters here in Taiwan say supporting freedom and democracy in the face of tyranny is necessary, especially as Taiwan faces its own threat of invasion from Beijing.
自由并非理所当然，更是需要我们去守护的。在中国集权之下，其实不只是战人、赶人，中国的野心勃勃，他们并不会因此而放弃。他们下一个目标就是台湾。
A wildlife organization in Taiwan is teaching people with disabilities to care for injured animals. The goal is to give them a new skill set and the chance to make animal friends. John Van Trieste has this story.
This injured owl is among several animals returning to the wild. They're the Taichung Wild Animal Protection Association's latest success stories. The association has invited a group of people with developmental disabilities from neighboring Nantou County in central Taiwan to help with its release program. But some of the animals, like this eagle, need lifelong care. And the visitors from the care center are here to help give these animals the love and support they need too.
老鹰其实危险的不是它的嘴巴，是它的脚。对，所以我们会戴手套嘛。那等一下在抓它的时候，我会直接把它放在你的手套上面。举高。对。好。好，可以，可以。
It doesn't take long for the volunteers and the animals to get acquainted.
可以增加他们的生活体验，可以改变他们的心境，这个是帮助他们的。他们来照顾动物，我相信对动物照顾也是好的。这样两边互相帮助之下，我觉得对整个野生动物保育是有正向的提升。
After learning the basics of caregiving, they'll volunteer once a month to help feed and clean up after their new animal friends, giving them an important role in the protection of Taiwan's wildlife. Chris Ma and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Invest in Taiwan. That's what a Taiwanese American startup founder wants to do. As Leslie Liao reports, her decision was based on her strong connection to the country. Leslie Liao has more.
Born and raised in the USA, Olivia Chen has not forgotten her roots in Taiwan.
I was born in the US, but when I was little, I actually had a chance to live there for a year, and that was a transformative year.
Chen and her business partner, Pauline Ang, run a company that sells canned plant-based Taiwanese-style milk tea out of California. Their brand can be found in over 1,000 stores across the U.S. Part of their commitment is using single-origin tea leaves sourced from family-owned farms. Another is working with businesses in Taiwan to make their products. Olivia says she feels compelled by her Taiwanese identity.
The memories, the smells, the fun holidays that I had with my family that allowed me to have this kind of like this connection that you can never break. That's why we worked really hard to find manufacturing in Taiwan. We wanted to find Taiwanese teas. We wanted to find Taiwanese printers and just help that Taiwan in its own way shine.
Olivia makes trips back to Taiwan to check in on the farmers she works with. On this occasion, she's visiting both tea and ube farms to get a better idea of the ingredients that go into her products.
I had always grown up with tea, but actually didn't really understand a lot of the nuances. And one thing I just learned, we have a jasmine pu'er. I did not know that the jasmine flower was handpicked and that these jasmine flowers are then paired with the tea leaves.
She also thinks it's important to connect with her suppliers who share her philosophy.
I'm like so happy that I can cry, honestly. It's incredible to meet a farmer, someone who really cares about the crop.
Businesses like Olivia's also give Taiwan's local farmers a chance to access previously untapped markets.
种这个你有时候遇到瓶颈也是，那个产量也是都在那里而已啊。如果能够把这个市场打开哦，那个产量，那个市占率比较高啊，我们就可以栽种更多的。
Olivia lives over 12,000 kilometers away from Taiwan. But a strong connection to her roots means that the country is never far away from her heart. And her commitment to delivering her ideal product while finding ways to work with Taiwanese businesses not only helps people here, but also anchors her to a proud sense of history and heritage. Chen and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out these images of cherry blossoms in Taichung, central Taiwan. I'm Reece. Take care, and we'll see you next time.